Designated Survivor, Episode 6, The Interrogation. I really enjoyed this episode. I think the way that, I kind of hate some of the characters in this show because I understand because, of course, it's like, holy crap, this random dude who's supposed to be fired is suddenly the president. And then, everybody kind of has to figure out how in the world is this going to play out. So I kind of hate all the characters that keep coming after Kirkman, but it is entertaining to watch because it was kind of full force in this one. Normally it's like, oh, here's this one person, and they kind of started that way with the older lady when she was first like, can we have a minute to talk because I want to talk about what happened with Governor Royce. And I was like, okay, this is obviously the new person that doesn't like him and stuff like that. And then when they had the whole meeting, everybody was on his case, and it's very valid because it's some random dude, and they were just calling him out as like, you were, it wasn't an honor for you. You were just a formality. You don't know this. You're about to be fired. The woman was just kept coming after him because it's like, the first thing you did was like get rid of this, like the housing development committee and stuff like that, and they were just coming at him like crazy. And he's like, you know what, you're right. And then he just walks out. It made me think of the press secretary guy, and I was like, oh, they can't keep having all these walk-offs, like people just leaving because they get freaked out for a minute. But I like the way it played out. I thought it was well done, and ultimately Kirkman has to make a yet another crazy decision where he's like, do I want to allow immigrants and stuff like that, or do I want to stop that? Do I basically just want to cut everybody off and just leave them trapped with no help, including, this pregnant woman that his wife is trying to help out? And it was just a crazy situation, and it's just very interesting. I was really enjoying the way it was playing out, where I think this was the first time he had to make like that really crappy decision where it was like, it's not something he would have ever done. Like, he wouldn't have done the stuff with Royce either, but those are different situations. That was actually to help people, and this was almost the opposite, and it was like, it was an odd balance. It's a very dangerous balance of, do I want to help these people that are within the country, or do I want to have this group because I need so many other decisions that, I have so many other decisions to make in the future, so it's kind of the now versus later sort of thing. And I just like the way it was all playing out. It was just really crazy, and it gets to the end, and he makes this decision to basically back the Congress, or have the Congress back him, and that really upsets his wife because it's like, she says, I'm not mad with the president, I'm disappointed in my husband, and it was just crazy. It was like he has to go through such an insane situation, and he has kind of his couple of people that do back him up, but then he has all these people coming at him. He had like his one buddy who was like, hey, I worked with this guy for a long time, he's definitely good and stuff, and then pretty much everybody else is like, yeah, but he ain't that good. That's pretty much how it was going. And it just continued on, and then of course we have that all coming after the attack, on the White House with this guy who says he's with Majid Nassar, and it was just crazy. That leads to our FBI storyline for the episode, which once again we have just all sorts of crazy conspiracy theory stuff going on where they capture the guy. We have Wells and the deputy director. They do the interrogation, and they just want their information. They know that things are off. They know that he's not the one that did it. And so they're kind of working together to say like, hey, all you have to do is admit that you are not a part of this. And eventually they get him to do that. And he gives them a name. And then it's like, all right, we got to figure out what we're going to do with this. They couldn't find the information. And of course, when they're headed back to see him, suddenly he's dead. And it seemed like it was cyanide because he was foaming at the mouth. It's like every spy thing is always cyanide. So somebody got him. Somebody got him, of course, and took him down. Like, all right, either they knew he gave out the information, which I doubt because he mentioned, like, if you tell anyone, they'll just kill you too. So I doubt they know he already gave up some information. It's just like, well, there's a possibility that he could, so let's just deal with him now. So they got rid of him. So now they have this last second of information, and then we still have, this man who's possibly going to be the vice president. Now it's kind of like the FBI have to find a way to prove that he should not be vice president because somehow he's involved in all this insanity. And I'm excited for that because the way they've had it so far is, very separated. It's like, the deputy director gives Kirkman like a little bit of advice, like even in this episode he does, and it's still fairly separated. It's like, we can't come at him with theories. He's still the president. He still has to do all this other stuff, and of course, like basically the whole country is on his side. Like, all right, we got this person. Let's blame them and be done with it. So they have to find the truth behind all this insanity, and now they have to basically stop someone from becoming the vice president. So I'm excited to see those, these two storylines really blend together in the next episode. And I don't know how it's going to play out. Of course, they have the ending of the promo where the deputy director goes in and he's like, I think we have some information. And then, the guy, I forgot his name, but like the guy who's supposed to be vice president, he's like, oh, that's really good. And it's like, oh crap, like the information was theorized to be about you. So I'm actually really excited to see how they're going to kind of play around with this element and how fast, these two characters are going to be able to work in order to tell Kirkman, this is why you shouldn't do it. But at this point, they got nothing. They talk about the mystery caller. They haven't called back, so we still don't know who in the world that's supposed to be. And they really don't have that much information. Now they have another name, and they put it through the database and stuff, and there's nothing they could find. And Wells mentions, like, maybe it's even above your pay grade. So they're working a real tough uphill battle on this one to get just a little bit of proof that this guy should not become vice president, or shouldn't be, probably even within the White House if he was truly, depending on how much he was involved in what happened. So I'm excited for where they're headed. Like I said, I really enjoyed this one. I think it was a good moment to, even though we're hardly into this series, it was a cool moment for them to kind of just talk, just in a nice, concise little point, like, you did this, this, and this. Why? Maybe that's an issue with you and not an issue with those people. So I like the way that they did that, and it kind of confronts, it causes Kirkman to confront his own, challenges as being this random, new president. And he does a great speech when he's like, I might not be right, but I do need you guys to kind of stand behind me. Like, we do truly have to come together and make this crap work, because it's absolutely insane right now. So I like the way it all played out. Like I said, I'm very excited for this next episode to see kind of where things go. And it's interesting watching the show now after the election. It's like, we're just looking at all this stuff and seeing like the crazy inequities, because the country's kind of going nuts a little bit right now. And certain things like the immigration stuff, I was like, this is oddly, like, I knew that was going to happen anyway, because it has been a big deal lately. So that's not even presidential stuff. It's just, or it's not specifically election stuff. That's just been in general kind of a big thing. But I was like, man, it's like perfectly political at this point, especially with how things have played out recently. So yeah, I was like, they're going to be it's going to be even stronger connections, I think, to how the government works now compared to even, before with the election. So it was interesting. I was like, man, the first thing after the election is like the immigration stuff. And I was like, let's see how that plays out. So be interested watching this show from now on and seeing how serious the similarities are, and just how things are going to play out and what they decide to truly bring in from the actual world and politics and the government currently. But enjoyed this episode. Excited to see this next one. Of course, definitely want to know what you guys thought about it. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, least favorite parts. And I want to know how you guys think this is going to play out with the FBI trying to warn Kirkman. Like, are they going to get something substantial? Is he going to listen to them without having any definitive proof? Are they actually going to tell him, I think it was like Catalan or something like that? Are they going to give him that name? Because really, I think that's their only option. They can't do it. So it's like, well, let's tell the president. Like, this is all we have. Are they going to tell him about, the vice president guy? Like, we believe he's involved, and, we've gotten some anonymous sources and things like that. What are they going to tell him to convince him? Like, how is that even going to play out? So, a lot of possibilities. I definitely want to know your theories on how you think it'll work. And of course, I want to know what you guys thought about the episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.